Did you know that there's Black Greek life here in the United Kingdom? I didn't when I first moved over here. We're going to talk about it today. This is your girl, Elder Marie, and welcome to Let Them See Your Mind. We're going to be talking about how Black Greek life here is in the United Kingdom, how is it impacting the community, how to join, and experiencing Black Greek life in the United Kingdom. Oh, by the way, happy Founders Day to my sisters of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. We are celebrating 117 years of service to all mankind. This video is especially for my sisters and anybody that's interested in Greek life in the United Kingdom. So sit back, relax, let's go. About Black Greek life. So let me tell you, do you know that all the Divine Nine organizations have a chapter internationally? And the first international chapter for Black Greek was back in 1938 when the London chapter of Alpha Alpha chapter established a chapter here in 1938. Wow. So it wasn't just in the United Kingdom that it started expanding after the early 1900s. They started getting more and more chapters. My organizations, their first chapter outside the United States was in Liberia, and they were established in 1957. And when I tell you that was one of the trips that I wanted to go in 2024, they had a region-wide service project in Liberia. And so it was very befitting after all these years that the first international chapter hosts the first region-wide service project. My organization is not the only ones that have international chapters. The Deltas, their first chapter was in Sierra Leone back in, what's the date? Delta Sigma Theta sorority, their first international chapter was established in 1959. The first sorority who established an international chapter was Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and they established their first chapter in Liberia in 1948. Yes. And then Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, they established their international chapter in Barbados, their first one in 1960. And so with that, the first Pan-Hellenic Council chapter was established in 1950. And guess where? In Liberia. There was a swing of historically Black sororities and fraternities coming to Liberia during that time. Unfortunately, as far as from our history, that chapter they were active up until 1981, where a lot of the members and families and a lot of people fled the country because of civil unrest. And then they recently reactivated the Liberia chapter in 2007. And so when I say that there is an international imprint for all sororities and fraternities, and let's take a look at like the fraternities. I've already mentioned Alpha Phi Alpha, but Kappa Alpha, their first chapter that was established was in Germany, and that was in 1957. Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, their first chapter was in South Korea. And then Phi Beta Sigmas, their first chapter was formed in Liberia in 1955. And then there is some discrepancies online about Iota Phi Theta's fraternity's first international chapter, but the only information that I saw as far as like a date is the Japan chapter in 2009. So when I say that these organizations are internationally known, they're internationally known. As far as the chapters that are here in the United Kingdom, there's only 6 of us. That's including the interest group that I'm a part of that is forming a chapter for Alpha Kappa Alpha. We have the Alpha Phi Alpha chapter, which their chapter is Rho Lambda Alpha chapter, and they were reestablished in 2010. Then we have the chapter Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. They have a chapter here in Birmingham, United Kingdom, and they were established in 2012. Then we have Zeta Phi Beta, the Zetas in England, and they were established in March of 2014. And then most of the recent chapters that have been formed as of late is the Sigmas and the Deltas. The Deltas were formed in April of 2023, and the Sigmas were formed in December of 2023. And so even though our interest group is not a chapter yet, which we're hoping and praying very soon, but at the end of the day, we are working on reestablishing a chapter, because did y'all know that AKA did have a chapter here in London once upon a time ago? They had a chapter here in 1990, and they were established here till 2006, where the chapter was dissolved. We don't know the reason. And even with me being a part of the organization, they haven't told us why it was dissolved, but it was dissolved. But apparently there's no negative reason. That's all I can say. And so now we are working towards getting that back. And when I say that the United Kingdom, the Black Greek life here has soared, it really has soared, because of course the establishment of the two other organizations that have come here within the last year, but also within the last 2 years, there's been a group of togetherness, and everybody's come together to make their organizations known. So recently there has been an airing of an interview from a member of Omega Psi Phi, who is also the vice president of the National Pan-Hellenic chapter of the United Kingdom here, which also was formed in March of 2024. So a lot of things are happening here in the United Kingdom. So if you are a member of these organizations, your brothers and sisters are here, and we are here to stay at all said and done. And for my viewers that don't know what historically black sororities, fraternities are, let me explain that to you. So the historically black fraternities and sororities are all nonprofit organizations that are all across the world, and they promote service and they promote sister or brotherhood. A lot of these organizations mimic a lot of service organizations that give back to the community. Some people have expressed it to where we are a group of like-minded individuals that share the same purpose and share the same goals. However, we wear different colors. And each organization have their own vision, service, and motto that more is directed to their service. In Alpha Kappa Alpha, we have a service to all mankind, and our national initiatives are related back to the Black family. The initiatives that we do is empowering, like, our organization and our sisterhood, and also empowering the families to be self-determined and independent for themselves, which a lot of the times would be doing like health events and children's events, like children mentoring programs. We haven't gotten that far yet, but that is something that is down the pipes when we are established as a chapter, doing things in relation to the family and uplifting community, whether it be giving blessing bags, fighting child hunger, and uplifting our community in relation to going into local businesses, local Saturdays, empowering and improving our economic wealth, which includes like information about finance, information about credit repair, information about spending your dollar, and with the emphasis on spending your Black pound here in the United Kingdom. And then also just social justice initiatives that's in relation to any type of advocacy, the United Kingdom. When it comes to migrants, we've done a program with migrants and working together with organizations like Host Nation, the American International Church, also working with Citizens of UK. So there's a lot of different things that can be under an organization that is of service. A lot of these initiatives are spread across different organizations that we work with, and we partner together in order to make sure that we are being service to the community that we are serving, which our community would be the London community, and that does mean all the boroughs. And so sometimes we may hone in on specific boroughs, but primarily we hone in on the boroughs that are primarily Black, because we're historically Black organizations. So we would go to where the Black people are first. How would you join these types of organizations? Well, I'm going to tell you, the same pitch that I always say is Go online and go to the international websites where it will tell you about each and every membership when it comes to a lot of these organizations. Same thing with my organization and all the other organizations. And there's that process that you can look at online to learn a little bit more about the organizations that I mentioned today. And when I say that the Greek life here is thriving and we're working together in order to make sure that we continue to thrive, not only for our own organizations and chapters, but just entirely as an ecosystem, it's great to see, because there has been an improvement for people that have been here for 15, 20 years, and they're just seeing this influx of Black Greekdom, as I call it, coming into the United Kingdom, and we're establishing our own ecosystem and we're making our names known. And it's exciting to hear. A lot of the barriers that we would face would be trying to explain what our organizations are. So a lot of the times we need to step back and not represent ourselves, but represent the entirety of the Divine Nine. And it's been going great so far. And now, as we celebrate 117 years of service in Alpha Kappa Alpha history, we hope that next year we'll be celebrating as a chapter here, a full-fledged chapter here in the United Kingdom. I would like to thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope y'all learned more about Black Greek life here in the United Kingdom. Don't forget, if you have any questions about today's episode, feel free to put them down in the comments, email me, and ask your questions. What do you want to know about just Black Greek life in general when it comes to being an American expat and coming into the UK? Because a lot of things happen, and a lot of things you may not know, you can know just by asking the right questions. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. If you want to learn more about my Alpha Kappa Alpha journey, go ahead and click on my video about my story about how I joined Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And there's another Founders Day video I've talked about as far as being in my sorority. Go ahead and click onto that link there. And thank you so much for watching. This is your girl, LD Marie, and we are out.